The titanic battle between Toto Wolff and Horner has resumed, with the two team principals once again trading blows after a raging technical disagreement. The pair have been feuding for many years, but with the FIA announcing a new technical directive that could upset the frontrunners, it has re-energized their squabbling. The FIA changes include not only safety measures but also stricter rules to prevent teams from flexing their floors, following speculation that some teams, including Red Bull, were exploiting a loophole. This is where Horner and Wolff's feud resurfaces, with the Mercedes boss throwing around accusations that both Red Bull and Ferrari have cheated the rules. Let's take a look at F1's latest technical squabble and what it means for the championship race. Mercedes resurges to the front of the pack, as well as Horner and Wolff's allegations of underhanded dealings and FIA manipulation to gain favor of their teams. The FIA announced a new technical directive regarding the skid planks under the floor of F1 cars ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix weekend. The directive is primarily concerned with safety and attempting to reduce car porpoising through the use of a new metric. However, the FIA is also implementing measures to prevent teams from flexing their floors, following speculation that some were taking advantage of a loophole to boost performance. The FIA checks the floor at 3 specific points under current regulations, with those locations not allowed to flex more than 2 millimeters. The regulations are to be changed beginning with the Belgian Grand Prix to clarify regulations, which has sparked speculation about which of the teams have exploited the FIA testing loophole. Mercedes, F1's previous dominant force, believes Red Bull and Ferrari, the fastest teams in 2022, have more flexible floors than the rules intend, with the emphasis on the wooden planks and skid blocks beneath the cars. When asked by Sky Sports F1 if he thought some teams were breaking the rules, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff said, "I think so. I haven't been able to squeeze the skids of certain teams." When asked who those specific teams were, he said, "Yeah, we're looking at our competitors." Both Red Bull and Ferrari have been adamant about the legality of their vehicles, which have passed all official FIA checks up to this point. They have also both expressed their dissatisfaction with the new technical directive. Horner also slammed the idea that Red Bull was using a flexi floor to find performance, while also joking that Wolff was referring to the cars around him at the time, a dig at Mercedes' lack of form at the front. That's total rubbish. Absolutely no issues or concerns on our floor. The technical directive is obviously focused on the bouncing and the porpoising, which certain cars have struggled with. Obviously, we saw at Silverstone. No cars were really affected by it. Is it the duty of the competitor to make sure their car is safe? Or is it the duty of the FIA to ensure that the competitor runs their car safely? According to F1 regulations, a car's floor plank can only flex by 2 millimeters. However, the FIA only checks 3 areas of the floor, and there are suspicions that some teams have been able to engineer more flex in areas where they aren't checking, possibly due to the mounting of their skid blocks, which are titanium plates fixed to the plank. According to reports, teams have been able to achieve up to 6 millimeters of flex as a result of this, which would provide an aerodynamic benefit as cars would be able to run at higher rake and be lowered to the ground. This section of the directive, which Wolff called a shocker earlier, is not a violation of the rules, but it does circumvent their intent, widening the gap between Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Mercedes has been one of the teams most affected by porpoising and is accusing their competitors of flexing their floors, whereas Red Bull and Ferrari have little to no bouncing and are those accused of having a flexi floor. "Probably I would have wished that it comes a little bit earlier," said Wolff, "but it is what it is. In Spa, we won't see that anymore." In July, it was reported that at least 6 teams, including Red Bull, will oppose the FIA's proposed changes to the floor regulations for next season. Mercedes has been the biggest proponent of the changes, but the 6 teams have questioned whether the changes are for safety reasons. Horner has stated repeatedly that Mercedes has exerted significant pressure, and the team boss has accused Wolff of lobbying the FIA. I think there is an awful lot of lobbying to change regulations significantly for next year so a certain team can run its car lower and benefit from that concept. Meanwhile, Wolff has dismissed this, claiming that every team tries to persuade the FIA to their point of view. I think he's just bored up there at the top. That's nice for him. So he doesn't do any lobbying? He sits in the office and doesn't call anyone and just does his thing? Working with the FIA is always part of it, so I don't know what he's referring to. But in the end, we are both part of the same circus. Of course, if you're at the front, you want to make sure nothing changes. And if you're not at the front, you want to make sure a lot of things are changed. Those are the 2 positions it's about. Horner and Wolff's comments appear to be a resumption of the war of words between Red Bull and Mercedes that has dominated the F1 paddock in recent years. The fighting has appeared to have died down earlier this season, but the Silver Arrows are no longer a million miles away from fighting at the front of the grid, and it appears that more words could be exchanged between now and the season's end. So far this season, Red Bull and Ferrari have shared all 13 Grand Prix victories, 9 and 4 respectively. Porpoising has been causing problems for driver Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, but the problem has since been resolved. And Mercedes' results have improved, including back-to-back double podiums in France and Hungary. However, there is still room for improvement in performance, and it may come as a result of the FIA's Technical Directive. Even without that, however, the team is confident that it has what it takes to reclaim their former glory. Trackside Engineering Director Andrew Shovlin revealed that the F1 Nation podcast that Mercedes is now fully focused on taking a final step, another 2 or 3 tenths, to put pressure on Red Bull and Ferrari. The real confidence is that we're doing the right things, the team's working well, and we're going in the right direction. At the start of the year, if we got a podium, it was because 1 or 2 other cars made a mistake or they had a reliability issue. We know where we want to get with the team in the car. We want to be the quickest car. We want to be qualifying on pole and merit. And these are all the steps that we got to go along that journey. It has been an interesting challenge for us. I wouldn't say it's all been fun, but I think it's a challenge that the team will emerge stronger from. Really, our focus is on saying, we just need another 2 or 3 tenths. And then we can really start to put them under pressure, because it's only when you can put a team under pressure that you can really open up those opportunities. Mercedes took a different design path than the rest of the field at the start of the season, pursuing a slimline side pod solution dubbed the Zero Pod when it debuted in Bahrain testing. Much of the subsequent decision focused on whether it be beneficial for Mercedes to abandon that design philosophy and return to the configuration used in the first preseason test. However, as the season progressed, the German automaker gained a better understanding of its car and the issues it encountered, ultimately allowing George Russell to take pole in Hungary. Nonetheless, as more teams replicate rival Red Bull's side pod solution, implying it is the best way forward, Mercedes has made it clear that it is not arrogant enough to dismiss following suit itself. While it does not believe that simply switching to Red Bull's side pod solution will solve its problems, it has been evaluating what the Milton Keynes-based team has done to see if there are any wider benefits. But once again, the risk of potentially overhauling the entire car must be weighed, especially given how far they've come so far. Then there's the budget problem. With a $140 million budget for this season, developing a completely new side pod solution will cost money that could be better spent developing the car's current concept. And given that rivals Red Bull and Ferrari may take a performance hit as a result of the new technical directive, Mercedes may find their 2 or 3 tenths sooner than expected. What are your thoughts? Is Red Bull and Ferrari skirting the rules as reports suggest, or are Toto Wolff and Mercedes blowing things out of proportion? Do you believe the technical directive will help Mercedes get back to the front? And do you think Horner and Wolff actually have the power to influence the FIA's decisions? Let us know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. It helps us out a lot.